Aquarius, welcome to your April reading. This is for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Midheaven, and or Venus. However, whoever clicked on this video, whether or not you know what your natal chart is, right, what your placements are, you were brought here for a reason. And so I hope you hear all that you need, and definitely do subscribe before you leave, okay? Coming into the month of April, we're already about a week in. And sorry for the delay. However, I feel like the message is still on time. But what you guys are coming into or experiencing this month, you have the Ace of Wands with the Queen of Cups and the Ten of Wands. I'm hearing spectrum. I'm hearing extremes. So there are certain Aquariuses this month that are just being really, like, the word that's coming to mind is ferocious, so sure, we can go with that. But you guys are very striking, and you guys are really going for the gusto is what I'm hearing. So you guys are taking pretty high, like moderate to high risks on certain things. You guys are really gambling this month, and there are those that are just playing it entirely too safe. And so you're needing to find a delicate balance between the two. Because if you guys like go after what you want, then you can never feel guilty about taking a chance. Because at the end of the day, you learned what works for you, what doesn't work for you, if it's something that you're actually passionate about, if it's something that you just had a mere interest in, right? If it's about relationships, if you were only in it and you had lusts for it, but it's not something that you could really see long term. It was just like a summer fling, you know, spring, winter, whatever season you're coming out of and stepping into. It's different for everybody. We're all at different stages. So for those that have taken those chances and it just didn't work out, you can at least not have that sense of guilt or regret. Some of you guys may have slight regret, slight embarrassment surrounding some sort of event that maybe caused you some internal pain on a soul level, because you did something that you knew wasn't in alignment with who you are. And so you're having to look at that and forgive yourself for allowing yourself to succumb to temptation, because you know, fire energy can also be about temptations. But for the others of you, you're just a little too safe. You listen too intently. I don't think that's how that's phrased though, but you listen a little bit too much to your mother, okay, who's really doing nothing but projecting her own insecurities or her own fears, right? Because she just doesn't want to see you get hurt, right? Because you're the baby. You listen a little bit too much to your mother figure. You'll find yourself in a place where you have high doubts, you know, where you can have like built up resentment later on in life, and you live with a lot of the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. So make sure that when you're doing things this month, that you're putting your desires first. With the Ace of Wands, coming into the second and third week, you have the Two of Cups with the Knight of Coins and the Eight of Swords. So this can be somebody that's just not actively listening and or communicating. You only hear what you want to hear and not what you need to hear about the situation. This could be making assumptions as well. With the Knight energy, this can also just be being pretty stubborn and set in your ways, not using common sense, especially in matters of the heart, where again you're divinely inspired because you are just so attracted to somebody. You feel like you just have to go after them. You have to get that kiss. You have to know what they're like in bed. You have to know, you know, you have to be like all or none. Again, what end of the spectrum are you on? But in doing that, not considering whether or not this is of your highest good, this person's of your highest good, by not heeding your own intuition, by not checking in with yourself on an emotional level, because you're just so caught up in the fleshy desires, right? You're so caught up in the sex, in a way, like trying to like numb the pain or to get over somebody. You know, you're trying to get underneath somebody else. You're taking a few steps backwards by doing that, because then you are leading strictly by impulse. You're making decisions based off of impulse this month, and so you very quickly need to turn that around. As I was shuffling your cards, a whole lot of cards wanted to come out, but just for the sake of time, I knew I wouldn't be able to get through them all, so I decided to reshuffle. But your card, the star, was there. The judgment card also came out. Also Leo's card, I believe it was the sun card. So a lot of like major arcanas and a lot of major themes surrounding pain, surrounding enjoyment, overstimulation, even to some degree, that's coming up this month. So you really want to take a look at that, because if you are in a period where you are at the end of your 7 years of going through a certain stage in life, right? Be it you're 17, you're 41, you're 21, you know, etc., 28, 29, whenever it happens for you, you need to really be taking a look at the patterns that have kind of generated the most influence over your life. I'm not quite sure how I want to articulate that, so I kind of like blanked for a second. But you're looking at your patterns, right? You're looking at your stats for the month. You're looking at your stats for the past 7 weeks, the past 7 months, again, the past 7 years. What needs to be like retweaked, reorganized, revamped? What is it about your heart and the way that you share of your heart, or the way that you are more protective of your heart here with the Knight of Coins and the Two of Cups energy that's in the potential week of obstacles? But again, energy is fluid, so this may have already happened. You may just be feeling this now. In what ways are you too private with being able to express yourself, the more sensitive side of who you are, the more compassionate side of who you are, the more loving side of who you are? Because on the outside, which is what the Ace also pertains to, right? Your first house, the you that everybody sees, that you lead with, your personality, you can be very like nonchalant, like as if you just don't care about much of anything outside of work or outside of like business and status and career and stuff like that. So it might be time for you to look more inward. Okay, some of the questions that you're hoping to get out of other people who you happen to have these social interactions with, you're not going to get the answers that you really want to hear, because you won't be able to find them in those places. You have to unlock the depths of who you are. You have to unlock your own subconscious mind. The answers are really residing within and just waiting for you to ask, right? Waiting for you to be curious enough to bait your pole and fish those waters. So you really have to looking at that. You really have to look at that. In April, 8 of Swords is here, which means that you aren't actively listening again. This can also be your 8th house, which is Scorpio's house, which talks about sacrifice and loss. Are you sacrificing enough? Have you sacrificed too much? Again, where do you reside? Do you feel like to some degree you're putting so much of your time and energy into work, right? You're putting an emphasis on your work and your career life, but you're overexerting in those areas. And then because you don't try to find the best way for you to decompress, you are starting to develop like anxiety. Things with like the nervous system. And things with like the circulatory system, that's what I'm getting. So is this going to cause you issues, like health-related issues down the line by doing so much in one area, one facet of your life, and that being the only focus, that you completely neglect your own mental health, your own emotional health and well-being? Right? You stop showing up for your dentist appointments or your annual doctor's appointments, right? Because you feel like that's a day that you can't get back, right? Those are hours that you can't get back. You actually need to be focused on work. So it's really changing around what those priorities are. within the month of April. Coming into the end of the month, you guys have the Ten of Coins, followed by the Death card, with the Seven of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune. Bottom of the deck is the Three of Coins. So as far as business is concerned, and as far as trying to figure out how you can generate more income, that is being transformed, right? You can have successes in that. You can be formulating new business partnerships, right? You're finally starting to make friends in the workplace after you've kind of figured out or like found your place on the work front as far as your responsibilities. Like you're comfortable in your role is what I'm trying to get at with the Ten of Coins. And so, sigh of relief here with this Death card. The worst can be over. Okay, and then you can be just taking very smart, calculated risks going out of April and into the month of May, and really being able to see some growth, some financial growth, some financial successes here. The number 7 can be all about miracles on a vibrational level. So just make sure that you're paying attention to the signs and synchronicities that may come through for you guys this month. With the Ten of Coins, if this is not about you being in corporate, right, and working on your professionalism, working on, again, things that are very structural in nature, that are systematic in nature, this can be about leaving a legacy, right? So say like you start your own business and it's something that you can bequeath to your children, that you can pass down. You're doing stuff like that. This can also be like when somebody passes and they have, I forget what it's called, but you're pretty much in their will, and so you get money. This can be that, right? Coming into fortune like that. When you see the Ten of Coins, you have to think like lump sum. So this can be like your taxes. Maybe that's something that you've been waiting on, is kind of halted all of the work and all the things that you have wanted to do for a while now, especially coming into the month of April, right? Your spontaneity, your spontaneous and adventurous side, that childlike side that just wants to go out and have fun. You haven't really been able to do those things and to involve yourself in things that are creative, and to spend more time with your family, and or take those types of family vacations and or trips with this Coins energy, because you've been waiting to have that extra money, that extra cushion. Maybe finances and budgeting is going to also be a theme for you guys coming up. Know that you have to put out what you want to see in the world. So be very careful about what it is that you say, because there's going to be a portal that opens for you guys in the month of April, or just whenever you watch this video, and it is your opportunity for you to really declare and profess with your mouth what it is that you want to see, right? Don't put any fears into that statement. You have to say it with your chest. Speak with confidence. Act like it's already yours, like you've already seen it, like you already have it. Write it down, okay, and plan out the steps that it's going to take for you to get what it is that you want with this Coins energy. If it's not real estate, because that can also be a venture that you might be thinking about going into next. I don't want to necessarily say a career change, but it can be, because when you get to the 10, that's like the ending of something to the beginning of something else. So it could be another career change, but do know that if you continue to swim in all different directions, you'll never make it to one destination at all. You have to like set your eye on the prize and swim in one designated direction. Maybe you are involved in things that you don't necessarily want to do long term, which again, that is fine, but I do feel like the heart chakra is blocked anyway. But if you are in a position where you're doing things that you don't want to do, understand the purpose that it serves, right? It's a paycheck for you. So you're able to take that money and really invest into the things and the products and the pieces and the patents, right? And the pitches, like the conferences or whatever it is that you have to do to attend, to acquire more knowledge, or to be able to put you in that position of power, to be able to put you in a position where you can get what it is that you've been seeking for a while, right? To have that like fame and fortune, to be able to really set yourself up and to set your family up again, to be able to be that provider. you have to be able to think that way. You're not going to be able to work and do what it is that you're passionate about until you have enough resources to do so.